Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Late for the Party on Anchor FM. I am your host, Melodious. Man, I am your host, Melodious, a.k.a. Coverboy, the Modern Marvel. That's right. Shit, if I was a superhero, that's how I'll be rolling right now. Oh, yes. Oh, my fucking God, dude. It is a good year to be a fucking geek, man, for real. And being a geek myself and everything, I mean, I do it all. Like, that's why from being in pop culture and everything, I mean, from video games, movies, music, okay, I'm gonna get into this segment because it's kind of important to me because, like, when it comes down to music, it really doesn't have that same feel to me. Like how, I mean, I could listen to, like, the older stations on the radio, like K-Earth 101 or even 94.7 when they're not playing some, like, fucking goofy-ass shit. I mean, you know, give me some stuff that I can actually get down to. But, I mean, or like even K-Rock, like I could listen to that. I mean, I could do a lot of things, but I mean, but when it comes to hip-hop and everything else, it's kind of hard to gravitate to because maybe like the new shit is really not my cup of tea, other than like somebody like Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole or you know, somebody in that magnitude, or like Chance the Rapper or Schoolboy Q. I'm going down the list right now. J-Rock. You know, they're out there, you know, but they don't get that notoriety that you would hear on the radio. You know, like, everybody has their preference and everything, and it's all good, but like all these knuckleheads like the Migos and all of that, I mean, even Future to a degree, because it's like even though I like Future, but I mean, just like what he talks about, I just don't get down with, you know what I'm saying? Like, even with my boy Nips, I mean, like with Nipsey, I mean, I'm loving how, like, you know, you're hearing a lot of his stuff being played on the radio now. Which, I mean, it's sad because it's like, you know, it's sad that, like, how a person dies and, like, you know, their stuff is more appreciated when they're gone more than when they were alive. So it's like, wow, okay. But I mean, it goes down like that, you know. Like, then there's like YG. I mean, you know, there's dope stuff out there. So I mean, it's not like there isn't, but you know, but when you got these like Sideshow Bob looking motherfuckers running around and you hearing their shit every fucking day, like, dude, like I get a little tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets old very, very fast. Here we go, and you know, it's hard to swallow half of this shit. Maybe, and it's not because I'm old or anything else like that. Because I was young as hell listening to all my dad's shit and my mom's stuff. Okay, so that doesn't matter about how old and how. I mean, it's like, it's not about how old or like how old you are to appreciate good quality sound. Like, good sound. Like, everything has to flow. For me, in order for me to get down, if my ears don't wiggle, that means that shit is trash. So, like, I'm sorry. That Blueface shit, I'm sorry. That nigga's whack. Y'all can get on my ass and all the beat is dope. Look, let me tell you something. If you're just sitting there relying on the fucking beat, then just play the fucking instrumental. Just play the fucking instrumental. This fool is rhyming off key. He ain't even rhyming on the beat. What kind of shit is that? And shame on Cardi B for jumping on that shit too, because it's like, she was sitting there, rhyming off key with the motherfucker, I guess. And I was like, whoa, come on, man. There's a lot of shit out there that honestly, like, to me, like, it's kind of nuts. Like, wow, like, come on now. Like, Blueface Word. But, I mean, then there's cats like Trippie Redd. I like him. Like, there's a couple of things that he does that's actually pretty cool. So, it's not like that. It's not like it's all bad, but it's kind of hard to, like, get down with a lot of stuff that doesn't, like, well, of course, when you're listening to it on the radio, it's like they only play certain things, like, or unless if you gotta go directly to your, like, your radio, like, you know, unless you go on your Spotify or your Pandora or iHeart or whatever you listen to, SoundCloud. I mean, there's stuff out there, like, you know, I wouldn't mind doing, like, something that's cool, like, because I always said to myself, like, I wouldn't mind running my own radio station. And that's one of the things that I know, like, there's not a lot of black-owned radio. There's not any. I don't even think there's any black-owned radio stations, honestly. And if there is, please let me know. You know, like, you know, we don't own it. We don't run the airways like we would like to. I mean, there's a lot of things that I find trippy about music in general, like how people flip about certain things. Like, here's a good topic I wanted to talk about in general. Now, this Lil Nas X, what's the song, Open Road? Old Country Road. So, now, Nashville has literally their own, like, you know, they run the countryside of everything. They run country music. Anything that you know, it goes through them. So they were tripping off of him, tripping off of Lil Nas X Country Road, because it doesn't sound like your atypical. It doesn't sound like your atypical country song, because it has like a little trap beat to it and everything. But it got Billy Ray Cyrus singing on it, and you know, Lil Nas X is rapping on it, or singing rapping, or country rapping to it, or however he's doing it. But he's doing it. So, and he says it's a country song. I mean, he's wearing the garb, he's doing everything that he has to for it. So my thing is, and I mean, it's not a bad song anyway. I mean, I'm not into the country songs like that, like all the Lady Antebellums and all that shit, and I'm not all into all of that. Like, you know, I was always into like Bonnie Raitt, you know, or like, you know, I'm more of a blues kind of guy, like Stevie Ray Vaughan and stuff like that. I mean, that's, and like, you know, Eric Gales. You know, I get down with that kind of blues. I get down with blues. You know, thanks, Dad. I appreciate that. But overall, but when it comes down to the whole thing with Lil Nas X, like, you know, they don't even consider Beyonce country, even though she is from the country. She is country born. And then also considering the fact that there was one song that she did on one of her albums that was a tribute to her dad, and it was a country song. But, you know, the country awards wouldn't put that song in that category. They wouldn't put that song in that category, but you're going to ask her to perform at the CMAs, the Country Music Awards. Like, really? You want Beyonce to sing at the Country Music Awards, but you will not put her song that was a tribute to her dad, which was a country song, but you won't let her, it won't be nominated. That's kind of fucked up. Because honestly, and I say it like this, if that and Lil Nas X Old Country Road isn't country, then Post Malone definitely can't be labeled as hip-hop. Like, for real. Like, he even says he's not a rapper, so why is he being played on all the rap stations and stuff like that? You know, he even said it verbatim. He's not a rapper. So what are you? You know? I say it like that. If Lil Nas X isn't considered it can't be considered country, then Post Malone definitely can't be considered hip-hop. Because that's some bullshit. You know? That is some straight sheep dip right there. But, and honestly, I feel that when it comes down to just music in general, like, a lot of folks, like, even for, like, Adele and all of them, they cross over to the urban side so easily, and it gets played, but it's hard for, like, the urban side to get played on natural radio. But you rarely hear, like, certain Kendrick Lamar songs. You might hear some, not all of them, but some. You know, I mean, call it what it is, but I just feel that it's a little off when it comes down to shit like that. You know, like, music nowadays is just, it's going through this little tailspin to me. Like, it's just, there's good shit out there, but it's not being heard. Like, you gotta literally either buy the shit or you gotta hear it on Spotify or something like that in order for you to get down to it. Which, honestly, it's sad because, like, there's even dope songs that, like, most of the radio stations play of that certain star or plays that from that certain person, but there's other songs on their album that are just as equally as good. Like, you know, there's always a B-side, and sometimes the B-side be better than the A-side. You know, they just need to change their dynamic a little bit. But either way, I digress from my point, but I have to get back in, so, yo, this is Melodious from Late for the Party on Anchor FM. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and support the podcast. I am your host, Melodious, aka Coverboy the Modern Marvel, and as always, y'all, it's okay to be late for the party, but never be late for the fun.